idols, all the gods of the nations are idols. And live deliciously with her, shall be well, they'll be quiet over her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon. Right here, Babylon the Great, America. That mighty city. What city is above America? For in 1 hour is thy judgment coming. You're going to take 1 hour to destroy this place. Verse 17. For in 1 hour so great riches has come to naught, come to nothing. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by seas stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? What city is like unto great America? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city. What great city? That great city of America, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. You hear that? 1 hour, America will be made desolate. So rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High have avenged you on her. He will avenge what they have done to the Most High's holy prophets and apostles. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon, America, be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the voices of harpers and musicians and of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all indeed. And no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more indeed. None of these are going to be in America. And the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all indeed. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all indeed. Not even a candlelight. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride, marriage, shall be heard no more at all indeed. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth, right here in America. And we found the blood of prophets and of saints. Who are the saints? The children of Israel. And of all that were slain upon the earth. I seen a picture. And it was like, very informative. Because generally, we always said 100 million of the Israelites were killed, but it said 300 million. 300 million. It's like, wow. Because you're looking at all the years that they sold us in the triangle slave trade, and we coming from America to Europe from Europe to Africa, from Africa to America, shipping us, bringing us, different places. Some of us died from the middle of Africa to the west coast of Africa, from the east coast of Africa to the west coast of Africa, wherever we were in our provinces that we had in Africa, they made us walk those miles. A lot of us died that way. Then they got us on the ships. We died on the ships coming from Africa to America. Those ships, they kept building ships. We were the commodity, their money. Everybody benefited from having slavery. They didn't get rid of slavery because of us. It set us free.
I said they still haven't got rid of it.
Yeah. Some of our people are really suffering. That's why I didn't like, how the people that was in Louisiana when the levees broke, look how they did those people. And, there's something to research whether or not, people had owned their homes. came through and just tore them down. When did they reap any benefits from that? They lost all that they had. All their records, all their family members, pictures, everything in life. They lost because that water was up to the rooftop. It destroyed everything inside. Mildews, they just tore their houses down. But when did they get compensated for that? When you have no flood insurance, probably just said too bad. Huh?
A lot of the insurance companies didn't want to pay.
No? See?
That flood would have wiped out quite a bit. And would probably sent you bankruptcy. I forget who was the major one they was announcing on the news. But they was having problems being paid by them.
Second Esdras, 6th chapter, 54th verse. On page 21 in the Apocrypha, it says, "And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord, with the power of all thy creatures. Of him come we all." So we all come from either Shem, Ham, and Japheth, Noah's sons, after the flood. "And the people whom thou hast chosen." Talking about 12 tribes of Israel. The Most High chose the 12 tribes of Israel, as we read already. "All this have I spoken before thee, O Most High, while Mashiach Yahushua, because thou madest the world for our sake." So he said he made the whole world for the children of Israel's sake. "As for the other people, or these other people that come from Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing." We just read that in Isaiah 40:17. "Thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like a spittle." That's what he's saying. "But be like a spittle, and have likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel." That's what it says. "And now, O Most High, behold, these heathen, these other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us, and to devour us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, if the world was made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world?" Why do we have an inheritance with the world if it's made for our sake? "How long shall this endure?" How long is it going to last? See, we have to realize that. Let's go to 2nd Esdras 6, and we're going to start at verse 7. It says, "Then answered I and said, What shall be the part of the summer of times?" They want to know when, how long shall this endure. Say, "What shall be the part of the sunder of times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that follow?" So when will be the end of the first, this first world, and the beginning of it, of the world that's going to follow? "And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him," you can read about that in Genesis 25:19 on down. "Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau," but it was fighting in the womb. See who will come out first. "For Esau is the end of the world." Now you know that of all the nations that ruled, major nations like the Egyptians, the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Persian and Mede Empire, the Greek Empire, the Romans, Byzantine Empire, then the rebirth of the so-called white man coming to power again to now. That's what it says. For Esau is the end of the world. And you know Esau had to be ruling during the end of the world. No matter if Obama is in office, he's still under the rulership of Esau. So Esau is the end of the world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. That's why we got next. Most High will. That's what it's saying. That's why Most High, you don't really care about a lot of people. You care about those who are gonna follow his laws. That's your commandments. That's like those that do what he say. It makes sense to me. It don't make no sense to think that you don't have to do what he say. You have to follow his laws, yet still you're gonna be able to be blessed to go to the kingdom. You have to do what he say, but yet still he's gonna bring you into the kingdom. That don't make no sense. You know what I mean? That's like your child be bad as ever and you're gonna reward him all the time. Doing all kind of things that's off. You're like, what are you doing? Okay, all right, you want some ice cream? Then it pour syrup all over your couch. Playing around with syrup. Then would you like some ice cream? Let's go get some ice cream. Nah, it don't work like that.
How about I go get that belt?
That's right. Go get that belt. Tear that butt up. Most I say, whoop on their sides. Say, don't fret his crying. Say, you ain't gonna kill him. But now if you do that, they can divorce you. I'm gonna divorce you. I'm gonna get rid of you. I'm gonna call 911. They call it child abuse. Because everything is a contrary to the Most High's word. So, let's go back to 1 Kings 8. We're going to read verse 47. So, yet, if they shall bethink themselves in the land whether they were carried captives, and we rethink ourselves in the land we've been carried captives and repent, ask the Most High to forgive us, and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captives, saying, we have sinned and have done perversely. We have committed wickedness. Let me read that again. 1 Kings 8 and 47. Yet if they shall bethink themselves in the land whether they were carried captives, and whether you want to accept it or not, we still in captivity. We're not free. Yet if they shall bethink themselves in the land which they were carried captives, and repent, ask for forgiveness of our sins, and sincerely be sorrowful for what we have done against the Most High, and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captives, and we over here in America, wherever we at, scattered amongst all these nations in captivity, saying, we have sinned and have done perversely, we have committed wickedness, and so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul, in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto thee toward their land, toward the east. That's why we face the east, which thou gave unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen. He chose the city of Jerusalem, and the house which I have built for thy name. Then hear thou their prayer and their supplication in heaven, thy dwelling place. Not here on the earth, but in heaven, in the fourth dimension, and maintain their cause. And forgive thy people that have sinned against thee, and all their transgression wherein they have transgressed against thee, and give them compassion before them who carried them captives. So we want to, we do right. Most High make our enemies be at peace with us. That they may have compassion on them. That our enemies may have compassion on us. For they be thy people. They be your people, Most High, and thine inheritance, which thou broughtest forth out of Egypt, from the midst of the furnace of fire, of iron, meaning having hard bondage, that thine eyes may be upon, that eyes may be open unto the supplication of thy servant, the sadness as we cry to the Most High, and unto the supplication of thy people, Israel, to hearken, to listen unto them in all that they call for unto thee. But thou didst separate them from among all the people of the earth, to be thine inheritance, as thou spakest by the hand of Moses thy servant. That's in Deuteronomy 32, 8 and 9. We just read that. When thou broughtest our fathers out of Egypt, our power, Most High Yahweh, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And it was so that when Solomon had made an end of praying all this prayer and supplication unto the Most High, he arose from before the altar of the Most High, from kneeling on his knees with his hands spread up to heaven. So he was on his knees with his hands spread up to heaven. It says, and he stood from off his knees and blessed all the congregation of Israel with a loud voice, saying, Blessed be the Most High, that hath given rest unto his people Israel, according to all that he promised. There hath not failed one word of all his good promise, which he promised by the hand of Moses his servant. The Most High, our power, be with us, as he was with our fathers. Let him not leave us, nor forsake us, that he may incline our hearts unto him, to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, and his statutes, and his judgments, which he commanded our fathers. And let these words, and let these my words, were Solomon's words, wherewith I have made supplication before the Most High, be nigh or near unto the Most High our power, day and night, that he maintain the cause of his servant, and the cause of his people Israel, at all times, as the matter shall require. That all the people of the earth may know that the Most High is the power, and that there is none else. Let your heart therefore be perfect with the Most High our power, to walk in his statutes, and to keep his commandments, as at this day. And the king and all Israel with him offer sacrifice before the Most High. They sacrificed right after he said his prayer. And Solomon offered a sacrifice of peace offerings. Peace offerings, which he offered unto the Most High, 220,000 oxen. Wow. 220,000 oxen, and 120,000 sheep. So the king and all the children of Israel dedicated the house of the Most High. The same day did the king hallow the middle of the court that was before the house of the Most High. For there he offered burnt offerings and meat offerings and the fat of the peace offerings. This is all to the Most High, because the basin altar that was before the Most High was too little to receive the burnt offerings and meat offerings and the fat of the peace offerings. And at that time Solomon held a feast, and all Israel with him, a great congregation, from the entering in of Hamath unto the river of Egypt, before the Most High our power. 7 days and 7 days, even 14 days. Wow. Feasted for 14 days, every day. Said 7 days and 7 days, 14 days, partying, having a good time. On the 8th day, he sent the people away, and they blessed the king, and went into their tents joyful and glad of heart for all the goodness that the Most High, our power, had done for David, his servant, and for Israel, his people. Hallelujah. That's right. So that's what we can look forward to. Again, because King Solomon had peace. King David had war, his father had war for 40 years, and King Solomon had peace for 40 years. And it's sad because of all that we see that he prayed, it went off. Still went off. To let you know, that's why it's a battle that we have to fight. You look at that beautiful prayer that he just prayed, right? But 1 Kings 11:1. 1 Kings 11:1. But King Solomon loved many strange women. So he loved many strange women. Together with the daughter of Pharaoh, woman of the Moabites. So he loved the Hamites, the Chinese, the Ammonites, the Japanese, the Edomites, so-called white women, Zidonians, Moab-Africans, and Hittites, Moab-Africans. Other nations concerning which the Most High said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in to them, neither shall they come in unto you. For surely they will turn away your heart, your mind, after their idols. Solomon claimed to these in love. That's what it says. We look at Psalms 96:5. Psalm 96:5. It says, for all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Most High made the heavens. They honor everything except for the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So all their gods are idols. That's why you're looking at what he told us in Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter. By him going with these other nations. Like they say, it's okay to be dealing with interracial marriages. It's not. According to the Bible. According to the word of the Most High. Let's see what he said. Deuteronomy 7, or Deuteronomy 1:1 says, these be the words that Moses spake to all Israel on this side of Jordan. So it's talking to Israel, the whole Bible, but Deuteronomy is talking to Israel. It says in Deuteronomy 7:3. That's what he told us. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them, with these Hamites. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. This is why. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other idols. So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. See? So that was the law. Now we're not supposed to be taking on these other nations. And those are all Hamites when you read 7 Hamite nations, when you read verse 1. Now, when you go into the Apocrypha, which I see that the Protestants took out so that you would get this knowledge, wisdom, understanding of what's really going on here. Let's see what it says here. In 1 Ezra, on page 11, 1 Ezra, the 8th chapter, and the 69th verse. It says, the nation of Israel, the princes, the priests, and Levites, have not put away from them the strange people of the land, nor the pollutions of the Gentiles. Remember, we just read how all the gods of the nations are idols. So the pollutions of the Gentiles, pollution is real nasty, filthy, and disgusting. We got to deal with it all the time here in Southern California. So the pollution of the Gentiles, to wit of the Canaanites, Africans, Hamites, Hittites, Moab-Africans, Parasites, Moab-Africans, Jebusites, Africans, and the Moabites, these indigenous Chinese, Egyptians, Moab-Africans, Hamites, and Edomites. Polluted Gentiles. That's what he called them. Polluted Gentiles. For both they and their sons have married with their daughters, and the holy seed, which is the 12 tribes of Israel, is mixed with the strange people of the land. And from the beginning of this matter, the rulers and the great men have been partakers partakers of this iniquity. And you know, it's a wicked act. It's against the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. And as soon as I heard these things, as soon as Ezra heard these things, I rent my clothes in the holy garment and pulled off the hair from off my head and beard and sat me down, sad and very heavy. First Ezra 9 and 7. So Ezra arose up and said unto them, to the children of Israel, ye have transgressed the law in marrying strange wives, thereby to increase the sins of Israel. And now by confessing, give glory to the Most High power of our fathers, and do his will. So do the will of the Most High. And I do believe that Ezra was rolling with the Holy Spirit of the Most High. He says, and do the will of the Most High. And separate yourselves from the heathen of the land and from the strange women. What did they do? Look at verse 20. And they gave their hands to put away their wives and to offer rams to make reconciliation for their errors. Now, verse 36. You can read down on your own. It's a lot of names. Let you know what they did. All these had taken strange wives. And what did they do? And they put them away with their children. Put them away with their children. So the Most High is not with this. So let's see. If he's with it, what am I going to do when he comes back? Matthew 25:31. Matthew 25:31. If we all supposed to be together as one big, great nation and everybody's the same, let's see what Mashiach is going to do when he come back to judge and make war. Matthew 25:31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, 200 million angels, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations will be gathered before him. And he shall separate them, not integrate them, not leave them how they are. He's going to separate them one from another as a shepherd divideth the sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Okay? He's going to separate everyone. Separate all this because he didn't intend for us to be integrated as such. That's why you look, he gave all, we read in Deuteronomy 32:8-9, he gave all the people their land once he gave Israel their land. He gave all these nations their land. So, this is what happened. Now, we go to Nehemiah, 13th chapter. Nehemiah, 13th chapter. And you see, we'll see here again, where Israel had went off. Nehemiah, the 13th chapter. Let's read verse 1. Say you married to a Moabite, you married to an Ammonite. It says, verse 1, on that day they read in the book of Moses, in the audience of the people, and therein was found written that the Ammonite and the Moabite should not come into the congregation of the Most High, and the Mashiach Yahushai forever. So you married to them, shame on you. Because you can't come into the congregation forever. They can't come into the congregation forever. That's what what it's saying. Because they met not the children of Israel with bread and with water, but hired Baalim against them, that he should curse them. Howbeit our power turned the curse into a blessing. Now it came to pass, when they had heard the law, that they separated from Israel all the mixed multitude. You hear that? When they heard the law, they separated all the mixed multitude. Moved them out of the way. Let's look at verse 23. Nehemiah 13 and 23. In those days also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab. Remember, Ammon and Moab can't come to the congregation forever. But we had married Ammon and Moab and the ones from Ashdod. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, or Hebrew, but according to the language of each people. And I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and plucked off their hair, and made them swear by the Most High power, saying, Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons, or for yourselves. Did not Solomon, that's what we're reading about, did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him, who was beloved of his power. And the Most High made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. You see that? He called these other nations women outlandish women cause him to sin. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our power and marry strange wives? And one of the sons of Joadah, the son of Eliab,